Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today. In this one, we're going to discuss and start with giving our thoughts on when do we think the survivors are going to begin to fight back against Negan and the Saviors. Killing it. So, of course, spoiler warning as usual if you guys are not caught up for Walking Dead, as most of you are, because you guys know we all love Walking Dead, and this is a heavy Walking Dead channel. It's a huge concentration in the channel. So, yeah, I thought this was a good topic to start off the video. So when in the hell are we going to see the survivors start to fight back against Negan and the Saviors? And by survivors, we mean Rick's group mainly, which is kind of becoming more extended now. You have Rick's group with Alexandria, which you could refer to as the Alexandria group if you want to at this point. Then you have, of course, the Hilltop, which is out there with Jesus. He's really the only standout character. The Doctor's pretty cool, too, but he's like the only one from the Hilltop that we really care about at this time, I want to say. And then we have the Kingdom, which is just starting to become a concentration this season, with Morgan and Carol being there and Ezekiel being a pretty cool character. And, we're just getting started to see all these different pieces come together to create what eventually will likely be in the TV series version, the joint survivors, or kind of the joint communities as they kind of form together. So they're taking their time with this season, man. They are taking their time. I was looking at the trades and I'm like, wow, we're going to episode 4 already. And we saw, of course, there's issue 100, so we covered that with the premiere. We covered Ezekiel with the tiger and the introduction of that, which is another part that kind of comes up later on with March to War and that. But really, with the Cell, I mean, that's something totally new because you don't have Daryl in the Walking Dead comic book series at all. He doesn't exist. So they're really pacing this one out, and it looks like, from what we're seeing so far, this season is going to be maybe a lot like Season 4 in terms of how much they actually cover in the season. It doesn't look like we're probably going to get to see, Rick and the group really fight back against Negan this half almost at all. Based on the current pacing, it looks like we're probably going to see maybe just the start to it in like second half of Season 7, and then we'll actually see maybe All Out War start in Season 8, or maybe even second half of Season 8, because it looks like they're going to be adding in some other stuff. And I'm not too privy with spoilers, but I know enough to know that it looks like this is going to take a bit. So it makes sense from one perspective. Of course, you focus more on Negan, you focus more on what it feels like to be under Negan's thumb, and then that way when the groups go to fight back, when Rick and the others start to fight back against Negan, we realize how high the stakes are. It's quite a bit different than some of the other villains they fought against before. If you fight back against Negan and you lose, I mean, he's gonna do some pretty bad stuff to you. He's gonna torture you. He's gonna beat your head in with a baseball bat, maybe if you're lucky. You're probably not going to get a great death, whereas someone like the governor might just shoot you and execute you, depending on the situation and who you are. As long as you're not Andrea, then he might cuff you to a barber chair or something and have Milton eat you or something. You definitely don't want to lose to Negan either. If you're going to fight back, you want to make sure you can win. Right now, from what we're seeing in the TV series at this time, it's like the survivors have no hope right now. If you look at Rick and the group at Alexandria, someone had the question, Trev, who do you think is Rick's right-hand man now after, of course, Glenn and Abraham have been smashed, and then you have Daryl, who's coming to visit, it looks like, but is in really bad shape. Negan really has in one episode with the Season 7 premiere, he's kind of decimated their strength. He's taken away a lot of the survivor strength. So it's probably going to be a bit until we see them even start to muster the confidence to fight back against him, which I think they did do a good job this season of using those point of view shots with both Rick and Daryl to kind of make us feel like the viewer, as we have to be sort of submissive to Negan as well, and we have to bend to his will and bend the knee, so to speak, because there's just no hope. So sort of as a prediction without getting into too many spoilers, because like I said, I'm not too privy with spoilers this season. I'm trying to stay out of it for the most part. But, I do see and hear some things. I'm thinking like maybe not even this half. We might see like maybe one or two things this half that start to make Rick and the others think, how are we going to fight back against these guys? It's a necessity. Like it has to become a necessity for them to do it, either through them starving or Negan just killing characters whenever he wants to, killing people whenever he wants to, for Rick and the others to realize, okay, we don't have a choice. We have to fight back against Negan, or we ourselves are going to die. We're going to starve, and the Saviors will do fine, but we're not going to make it, so we got to do something. So, write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. When do you think we're going to start to see the survivors fight back? I'm thinking maybe we'll see something mid-season finale, but maybe not even. Maybe they'll put something else in there, and it'll get pushed in the second half of this season. Man, but I can't wait to see it, though, too, But the pacing of this season has been a little slow so far. I don't want to call it like a filler season because The Walking Dead is pretty good quality even when they add things in like the illness in season 5 and some of the other stuff they've added in has been really good. Daryl, Merle, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Next question is from Matthew Craker, and he says, Trev, I feel you didn't give The Cell the credit it deserved. It was a really damn good episode, and Norman Reedus' acting was top-notch. Some of the most emotional scenes in the series. I don't know what you want me to say, Matt. I said it was a good episode, brother. What do you want me to do? Like spin around on my head or something? I don't know. I mean, it's a good episode. It's a different kind of season than what we've had before in season 6 and some of the others. And so I liked it. I mean, it's all good stuff, right? But is this the best start to a season we've ever had after 3 episodes? I don't think so. At least that's me. Everyone's free to disagree. However, do consider that you could be experiencing new bias, which is that you think something is better than older stuff just because it's new, because it's fresh, because it's shiny and new, right? So that's what it is, which happens all the time. Next one's from the ExitZero, who says, "Hey Trev, can Daryl really be freed from under Negan? I mean, wouldn't Negan just get him back anyways, because they know where he'd be going, and it would just in turn piss Negan off." So the ExitZero, absolutely right, man. That's why, I feel like how can Daryl, how can he not become a savior if Negan wants him to become a savior at this time? There's got to be a way, like maybe Jesus frees him or he escapes on his own, and he knows he can't go back to Alexandria, so he doesn't, so he goes somewhere else or something. I don't know, man. I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe there's some dots that are missing in between for him to escape that we have to see connected first before we can see the next step. Maybe we're too far, before that point where we can predict where he's going to go next because there's too many things. But, it's kind of like with him and Dwight. Are they going to keep both? We'll see what they do. But I don't know if he has much of a choice. And at this point, I don't know how he's going to get away either. Plus, if they're going to do that, that would kind of be like the start to March to War, or the start to a resistance back, a fighting back against against it, so against Negan and the Saviors. So, yeah, at this point, I don't think he really can be, because even if he escaped, if he goes back to Alexandria, Rick's going to be like, brother, you got to go back, man. You got to, And that could put Rick in a weird position, too, because he may have to turn against Daryl and be like, no, man, you got to go back. Negan's going to come here. He's going to kill us all, this kind of thing. So, you got to go, man. There's no question. So, that puts people in some interesting positions when you got to put a guy like Negan over top of them and see how they interact with each other now when they don't have true freedom. Interesting. Relevant Mean says, hey, Trev, I have a question. If Woodbury was still around, how do you think they would have handled Negan if he wanted half their stuff? So how would the governor have handled Negan? That would be interesting, because the governor kind of does something similar himself, but he'll just kill you and take all your stuff. Negan is even more interesting than that, and I'd love to see how the governor would react against him. The governor would be a troublemaker for Negan. He would not, he couldn't help it. The governor would fight back for sure. He would just have to wait for the right time. Would Woodbury be able to take out the Saviors? No way. I mean, no way. They are like Mickey Mouse compared to the Saviors. I mean, in terms of manpower, in terms of the people, in terms of their experience and everything. I mean, Woodbury, they would have no chance against the Saviors, but I think the governor would try anyway, and I think he'd probably fail. Let's be honest. So, and the last one for this one will be from Michael Delia. He says, "Hey Trev, love your vids. You're doing a great job. Where do you think they'll take Maggie, and where do you see her ending up in the current and even next season? So the future for Maggie. I did do a video on this already, giving my thoughts on the future for Maggie, whether or not she'll commit suicide, that kind of thing. So check it. It's in the channel if you're interested, Michael. Just to quickly give my thoughts, I think right now she's probably the hilltop with Sasha. It'll be interesting to see whether or not she shows up in episode 4. She may not. We'll have to see how that goes. But I think she'll be fine. I think she'll survive, this part. She might attempt suicide. I don't think she'll be able to do it. And, then we'll see her start to maybe regain her strength. Second half of the season, maybe season 8. So, this is what I think. So we'll see. Write your comments below, guys. Let me know what you guys think. And, of course, with the big question about this one, when do you think we're going to start to see a resistance form against Negan from the survivors? If you guys like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. Send me any other questions you guys have for Q&As. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this one today. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Of course, episode 4 tomorrow night. So I was just Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you soon.
You better subscribe.